The New York Knicks just made a statement overseas. And now, they're coming back home with momentum, confidence, and a few big roster questions that could shake up the entire rotation before the season even starts. One player in particular, someone almost no one was talking about, might have just forced his way into the conversation. Knicks fans, you'll want to hear this, because what happened in Abu Dhabi could completely change how Mike Brown sets his lineups this year. But before we get into it, if you're a die-hard Knicks fan, make sure you're subscribed to Knicks News. We're your go-to source for daily, engaging content on all things. Help us reach our goal of 1,000 subscribers this season by hitting that subscribe button now. The New York Knicks are not done yet. It's official. After an impressive international sweep against the Philadelphia 76ers in the Abu Dhabi games, the Knicks are heading back to Madison Square Garden with more clarity, more confidence, and maybe a few unexpected heroes. New York didn't just show up, they dominated both games, with starters and regular rotation players taking care of business in the first halves, while deeper reserves took over and closed things out with energy and focus. It wasn't just about wins, it was about evaluations. The Knicks made the most of this league-mandated trip overseas, and now the coaching staff has some tough decisions to make before preseason action hits the Garden. Let's be clear, no one's spot on the roster was officially decided in Abu Dhabi, but the games revealed a lot. Some players made a strong case for themselves, showing they can fit right into Mike Brown's high-effort, defense-first system. Others, they've got some work to do before the final exhibition stretch begins in New York, and one name that turned heads more than anyone else, Trey Jemison. Yes, the same Trey Jemison who spent last season with the Los Angeles Lakers system, a name most fans barely noticed before these games. In limited minutes, Jemison did exactly what coaches dream about from a fringe player. He made a huge impact without needing the spotlight. In just over 8 minutes of play, Jemison scored 7 points, grabbed 3 rebounds, and more importantly, brought elite defense that helped the Knicks protect the lead the starters had built. Head coach Mike Brown couldn't help but praise him, calling Jemison the defensive player of the game for his performance. Brown highlighted Jemison's toughness, his perfect vertical defense, and how he stayed disciplined even when taking hits at the rim. Think about that. In a showcase game halfway across the world, a rival coach went out of his way to praise a Knicks reserve. That doesn't happen often. What this means for the Knicks rotation. Now, here's where things get interesting. On paper, Jemison shouldn't even have a clear path to a roster spot. The Knicks just added Guerschon Yabusele, a powerful, versatile forward, meant to strengthen the front court rotation. But if New York decides to stick with the two-big lineup they experimented with in Abu Dhabi, something that gave them better rim protection and stronger rebounding, then suddenly, interior depth becomes critical, and that's where Jemison fits in. His defensive instincts, toughness, and willingness to do the dirty work could give him an edge over Ariel Hook-Porty, the young second-rounder who's still developing. Every season, there's that one underdog who surprises everyone, and Jemison might just be that story for this preseason. Beyond the stats and box scores, what stands out most is the mindset this team carried overseas. The Knicks treated these exhibition games like a test of discipline, structure, and chemistry. Players stayed locked in. The communication was sharp. The defense, even with backups on the floor, remained intense, and that tells you something very important. This team is focused, hungry, and ready to take another step forward this season. The Knicks didn't just go to Abu Dhabi to play basketball, they went there to send a message. So what's next? Now the Knicks come home to Madison Square Garden, where 3 more preseason games will decide final rotations, bench roles, and maybe even who grabs the last few roster spots. And make no mistake, Mike Brown and the front office are watching everything: energy, defense, effort, fit. Because this year, the Knicks aren't looking for flash. They're looking for fighters. So, Knicks fans, get ready, because the team that's flying back from Abu Dhabi is not just coming home. They're coming back with fire, identity, and a hunger to prove everyone wrong. And if Trey Jemison keeps playing like this, he could go from a forgotten name to one of the biggest surprises of the preseason. The Knicks are building something serious. And what we saw overseas might just be the first real, sign of how far this group can go. Stay tuned, because things are heating up fast in New York.